Take a look at your hand. Go on, hold it up. It looks calm, doesn't it? Perhaps a bit dry, maybe a few wrinkles, but otherwise peaceful, silent. But that silence is a lie. If you were to shrink down, smaller than a grain of sand, smaller than a dust mite, down to the atomic scale, you would find that your body is not a temple, it is a battlefield. Right at this very moment, a relentless, never-ending war is raging across the surface of your skin and deep within your veins. It is a conflict of staggering proportions, fought by trillions of soldiers. There are invaders, biological machines designed to hijack your resources and burn your cities to the ground. And there are defenders, an ancient biological super army that has evolved over millions of years to do one thing: keep you alive. This is the story of that war, and today, unfortunately for you, the enemy has just breached the gates. The borders of your existence are guarded by the Great Wall of Skin. It is tough, acidic, and mostly impenetrable. But accidents happen. Imagine you're walking through a garden and you graze your thumb on a rusty nail. To you, it's a minor annoyance, a scratch. But on the microscopic scale, it is a catastrophic event. The Great Wall has been shattered. The dead skin cells are torn apart, revealing the juicy, warm, nutrient-rich tissue beneath. For the bacteria living on that rusty nail, this is like stumbling upon a utopian city with the gates wide open. They flood in, thousands of them. Let's introduce our villain, Staphylococcus aureus. To the naked eye, invisible, but down here, they look like armored spheres, and they're hungry. They don't want to kill you out of malice, they simply want to eat your resources and replicate. They begin to multiply, doubling their numbers every 20 minutes. If left unchecked, within a few days, they would consume your entire body. But your body has a silent alarm system. As the bacteria begin to damage the local cells, the dying cells release chemical panic signals, a silent scream into the bloodstream, saying, "We are being overrun." The war has begun. The first soldiers to arrive on the scene are the macrophages. If your body were a city, these would be the riot police, if the riot police were the size of tanks and could eat people. The macrophage is a biological titan. It creates amoeba-like tentacles, snaring the invading bacteria and pulling them into its body. Once inside, the bacteria are bathed in acid and dissolved into nothingness. A single macrophage can devour up to 100 intruders before it succumbs to exhaustion. For a small cut, this is usually enough. But today, the infection is too strong. The bacteria are multiplying faster than the macrophages can eat them. The macrophages realize they are losing ground. They release cytokines, messenger proteins that summon the heavy infantry. Enter the neutrophils. These are the berserkers of your immune system. They're fast, aggressive, and frankly, a bit reckless. They rush the battlefield and vomit deadly chemicals that kill everything in the area, the bacteria, and sadly, your own healthy cells too. They are so aggressive that they evolved to commit suicide after just a few days to prevent them from destroying the very body they protect. The battlefield is now a mess of fluids, dead bacteria, and sacrifice. This is what you see as pus on a wound. It is literally a pile of fallen heroes. Despite the bravery of the neutrophils, the enemy is winning. The bacteria have evolved shields to block the chemical attacks. They are pushing deeper into the tissue. If they reach the bloodstream, you will face sepsis and likely death. We need the special forces. We need the adaptive immune system. But the special forces don't just shoot blindly. They need to know exactly who they're fighting. While the battle rages, a specialized scout called the Dendritic Cell enters the fray. It doesn't fight, it observes. It moves through the chaos, ripping samples off the bacteria, pieces of their armor, their flags. Once it is covered in enemy intelligence, it leaves the battlefield. It travels through the superhighway of your lymphatic system, heading for the nearest military base, the lymph node. This journey might take a day where the bacteria are gaining ground, a day where you start to feel tired, achy, and sore. Your body is diverting all its energy to the war effort. The dendritic cell arrives at the lymph node. This place is bustling with billions of sleeping cells called helper T cells. Each T cell is unique. One might be designed to fight the flu, another for chickenpox, another for the common cold. The dendritic cell runs through the crowd, showing the enemy sample to every T cell, looking for the one single commander who knows how to kill this specific bacteria. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack the size of London. Hours pass. Finally, a match. The dendritic cell finds a T cell with a receptor that perfectly fits the bacteria sample. Click. The sleeping general wakes up, and it wakes up angry. The T cell begins to clone itself. 1 becomes 2, 2 become 4, 4 become millions. In matter of hours, an entire army of clones is created, all specifically designed to hunt down the invaders in your thumb. This army splits into 2 groups. The first group travels to the battlefield to boost the tired soldiers. The second group finds the B cells. The B cells are the weapon factories. Once activated, they begin to produce antibodies. These aren't soldiers, they are guided missiles, tiny proteins engineered to lock on to the surface of the bacteria and cripple them. Back at your finger, things look grim. The skin is red, swollen, and throbbing. This inflammation is intentional. Your body is flooding the area with fluid to make it easier for the army to travel. You might also have a fever. This is your body turning up the thermostat, trying to cook the invaders alive, making the environment unbearable for them, whilst your own cells struggle on in the heat. But then, the cavalry arrives. Millions of helper T cells and antibodies flood the wound. The effect is instantaneous. The antibodies swarm the bacteria, gumming up their machinery, clamping their jaws shut, tagging them for destruction. The bacteria are paralyzed. Now, the macrophages, exhausted and battered, get a second wind. The antibodies act like salt on a meal, making the bacteria tasty and easy to grab. The slaughter is absolute. Within matter of hours, the bacterial invasion force is wiped out. The threat is neutralized. As the fever breaks and the swelling goes down, the soldiers commit mass suicide to save resources. They are no longer needed. But not all of them die. A few T cells and B cells remain. They turn into memory cells. They will patrol your body for the rest of your life. They hold the file on this specific enemy. If this bacteria ever dares to show its face again, it won't take days to mount a defense. It will take minutes. You won't even know you were infected. That is what we call immunity. So the next time you look at a scratch on your hand and think nothing of it, remember the millions of sacrifices made in the microscopic war for your survival. Thank you for watching Facts and Stories. If you want to support your immune system, the best thing you can do is sleep, drink water, and subscribe to this channel. See you in the next war.